This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome back the matriarch of the D-Lew podcast when we're talking about the world of professional wrestling, the one and only Gabi. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Considering a lot that's been going on the last, week or so, I'm good. But, obviously this coming weekend is Crown Jewel. I can't believe it's freaking November already. It's crazy.
The year is gone. It is insane.
I mean, the year has gone like Speedy Gonzalez, man. It's all gone, the Road Runner.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone pretty fast. But,
Mm-hmm.
Again, Crown Jewel is going to be taking place, of course, in the city of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at the Mohammed Abdul Arena. And here's the kicker. A PLE that's non-classic 4 that has more than 5 matches. How about that? 7 matches on this card.
The prince gets what he wants.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. Like all these other PLEs this year outside of, let's say, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and that type of thing, only had 5 matches. And a lot of people were complaining about it because we want to see more people featured and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, the idea of less is more, you know what I'm saying? And it gets more people to want to watch the actual shows itself. That can increase, ratings and all those type of things. But I don't know how these matches are going to be. I don't know if these are going to be in order, but I'm just going to go off this list based off of what I see here. But before we get into the matches, I do want to recap just parts of SmackDown last Friday and this past Monday's Raw when it deals with the Bloodline. Now, obviously, there was the WWE Tag Team Championship match that took place between the challengers, the brand new on the scene Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and they took on the God. They're not going by that, and of course WWE, but Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and of Course Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa were in their corner. But of course, the old adage, whenever somebody shows up in the hoodie, in the black hoodie, I might add, they're going to interfere. In a bandana, I mean, it's safe to say that's the new uniform for a run-in now.
Yes, it is.
That's the new uniform. But no, I think, it was Jimmy that did the run-in. It was Jimmy that did the run-in, and of course there was a scuffle outside the ring. Then of course there was another masked man with a hoodie and black hoodie and the bandana over his face, doing a bunch of super kicks and a spear. And of course, it was Jimmy Uso because, of course, it was the new bloodline that cost Jey Uso the Intercontinental Championship at Raw in Philadelphia. When I was there, I happened to be there to see it, which we kind of knew that was going to happen, right? When you talk about storytelling and that type of thing. So that went down. Then, of course, the Motor City Machine Guns hit their finish on the Bloodline. And of course, we have brand new WWE Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. Congrats to those guys, 2 good guys, and I wish them all the best on their WWE journey. But it adds more wrinkles to the story because now you had Jimmy and Jay in the ring. They hug, and guess who shows up in the aisle? The OTC, Roman Reigns. It's crazy to think we would have never thought we would have an acronym for Roman Reigns. And what's crazy is that he never called himself the OTC verbally. It was just on a t-shirt that he came out to at SummerSlam. Talk about it for a second.
And people were like, you know what? I like it. And it stuck. And here we are. Like, I would never think that they would monogram of any sort Roman Reigns.
No, it's just he's the tribal chief, but it makes sense, as far I'm the original tribal chief. the only tribal chief. You could do whatever you could, however you want
There
to
are
do
so
it.
many combinations for sure.
Absolutely, and that's the beautiful part about trademarking and patenting. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But of course, we come out to this past Monday's Raw, and of course you had Jimmy and Jay in the ring, trying to hash out their problems, like all families do.
Hmm.
And to me, Jay is very, very hesitant right now, and rightfully so, because he said, "I've been on my own. I became the Intercontinental Champion. And I'm not going to be talked down to by anybody. I'm nobody's secondhand nothing. I am, it's just me, Oos, and
Hmm.
that's the thing. Like he really is trying, he went out to prove really he did it without all those guys. He did it on his own.
Hmm.
And then, of course, who shows up? The new bloodline, and which made Adam Pearce very, very angry by oh man, that made you ever see that really this disgruntled employee, whether he's a boss or something like that, he just had it. Adam
Hmm.
Pearce is at this point now where he just says, I need a drink. Because think about it, he's had to deal with, oh my God, you figure Chelsea Green, who got on his last
Hmm.
nerve, pipe, and the list goes on and on. So
Hmm.
he basically told him, hey, keep your guys away from my show. And we'll see what happens. But the little Easter egg is that in the back, they had the segment of Sami Zayn wanted to talk to Jay, and Jay was like, we need to talk, we need to talk. And Jay was like, what Sammy was like, hey, why are you going back to them? After what they put you through, after all of this drama, why are you going to go back? And he said, it's family. He's like, and you ain't family. Just paraphrasing here.
Hmm.
And of course, they're in the back, and Jimmy's like, yo, what'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say? And Jimmy's like, let me go fix it. Now they're outside the arena, and
You see him talking to
Jay
Solo.
wanted to know, was like, hey, what happened? And he was like, look there, Oos. And they did the pan and they did the zoom of the camera, and it was Sami Zayn talking to Solo Sikoa when he was inside of his SUV. Now you want to talk about episodic television? Somebody on Twitter actually put the Family Matters.
Yes, the piano. Yes.
Oh my God! Talk about that exchange for a second and what that could potentially mean.
Well, we have Survivor Series coming up, and you know what Survivor Series means. There's always opportunity for war games. So I think that's what we're leading up to. I think it's a little quick. I wanted to kind of see like maybe the whole Jimmy and Jay thing play out a little bit longer. Like I get it, but I think it could have, you could have built that longer. But again, I also understand as well. So the end of that coin is Survivor Series is coming up. You need a match. So
I mean,
it's
also
interesting that
too,
we're getting this match this weekend too. So we'll see.
right? And I think they were because SmackDown was taped, after on Friday night after the live edition went off the air, and I think because the results may have already come out already, there were some things that happened where Roman did say, "Yeet," Spoiler alert, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Spoiler alert. Roman does believe in the Yeet. I'm a part of Yeet Nation too. But Yeet Nation, see, now if WWE comes out with something with Yeet Nation, you know where they got it from. This show right here. But no, in all seriousness, now it's going to be the tag team match. We're going to get into the card in a little bit, but I just wanted to, kind of catch everyone up in case no one has been able to watch, shows, because there's a lot of wrestling on TVs now, and it is hard to kind of keep up. But that's where we are at. Is leading to Crown Jewel, this coming Saturday with the special start time of 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. So that's why I think we've been a bit spoiled because a lot of these overseas PLEs have been starting early, but also too, I don't know if you heard, but Survivor Series is supposed to start at 5:30 Eastern time, which is 2:30 Pacific. This is definitely a new company, man. I would have never ever guessed in a gazillion years that a PLE.
Bad Blood started at 6, which is really early.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why that happened was because TKO was like, all right, we're gonna do a TKO big day with
Oh, it flipped to
Bad
them, yeah.
Blood, and then the UFC fight was that night. But but the Survivor Series, there's no UFC fight. I'm thinking they may have stumbled upon something. They say, hey, why do we have to do this at nighttime?
I mean, I enjoyed the fact that the PLE was wrapped up by like 9 o'clock because I'm old, so like I want to go to sleep. Like I've been up
Hey,
since
we're
5,
gonna we're not
probably.
that old. That
Like,
old word. That hey, listen, I turn 46 next week. You're not old, and I'm not old either. But I'm just letting you
just
know.
say it.
Yeah,
I like being done with my night by like 10 o'clock because AEW their pay-per-views run to like 1:30. You're like, okay, guys, wrap
but
this up.
but back in the day, and this is before your time, but pay-per-views used to start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 1 was at 1 o'clock in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. Because WrestleMania 2 was a weeknight pay-per-view, was on a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in 3 cities, New York, Chicago, and LA. That started at 8 p.m. Eastern. But WrestleMania's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 started at 4. WrestleMania 8, because it was in Indiana, that's when they were in the part of the Central Time Zone, that was at 5 p.m. 9 and 10 started at 4, and then 11 was when it started at 7 p.m. But Royal Rumble used to start at 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? It's summer, and that's how it was back in the day. It was a Sunday afternoon. If you ever go back and go on the network and you see some old, I don't know, primetime wrestling, superstars of wrestling, wrestling challenge, and they'll say if Gene Oakland's doing special report this Sunday afternoon, watch WrestleMania 5. It was afternoon. So why not go back to basics and what made sense to the consumer? Because guess what? People got to go to work on Monday mornings, or if it's on a
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, but Saturday nights, people want to go out and party or whatever. So I think they're kind of gearing towards, because heck, you're indoors. Who's gonna know us if it's daylight or nighttime anyway?
Right.
So it's crazy. But it will start at 1 p.m. This Saturday afternoon. So the first match that's on here is for the inaugural WWE Crown Jewel Championship on the men's side. You got the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther taking on the undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. I love how Cody and Gunther's promos, and they barely haven't touched. They haven't
They haven't.
touched.
Mm-hmm.
They've done promos,
Mm-hmm.
virtually in the ring. And I think, like I said, less is more, because they're talking up their championship, their show, while I'm the superior champion. Gunther's promo on Monday was just gold. Like, he is truly a heel's heel. And he reminds me of a throwback heel from back in the day. I'm talking about guys like Nick Bockwinkel, that was the AWA world champion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody he was a heel, but he was so damn good in the ring. And Gunther exemplifies that. So before I pick a winner, I want you to elaborate a little bit on the Crown Jewel Championship and how this can elevate either guy.
I think it's going to be a great match regardless to who wins. Like, let's be honest, Gunther versus
Mm-hmm.
Cody is a dream match
Mm-hmm.
because you wouldn't normally get it. They're on two different brands, technically.
Agreed.
So I think it'll be a way to kind of mix up the eyes. Maybe somebody's out there watching and not watching both shows. It happens. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't like the certain champion. They're not really interested in it. I think it'll be a very heavy-hitting match. And
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the matches that, honestly, everyone always says the match can go either way. Like, yes, technically the match can really go either way. But I really think that neither one of them are going to look weak at the end, no matter who wins. I think it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of the matches where it's like, they're both going to get over. So I say it's going to be a draw. Like, obviously, maybe someone interferes. I don't know, right? But I think that whoever loses will not look weak. They can't make their champions look weak. So I think it's going to be a great match.
To be honest with you, I'm thinking Cody, because I think
you could go Luther.
Really? Okay. And it's okay for us to disagree.
No, for sure.
I'm looking at it from a perspective of they could be selling replica belts, especially on a guy like Cody. And I'm looking at
Cody, though. So It could be a chance for everyone loves Cody, right? So it could be a chance for Gunther to kind of like get one up and to get more like fans on his side. because everyone loves Cody. Like, there's not that many people who dislike Cody, but there are people that dislike Gunther.
Yeah. And again, like I said, it can, like, to your point, it can go, and we're both split on this one because I think they both bring I think as far as intangibles, as far as what they can bring into a match, how they can tell a story. And again, I in this match though, I don't want him to use their finisher for the finish. I want something to be where it's like an inside cradle, a schoolboy, or the finish from WrestleMania 8 with Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, where Piper had him in the sleeper. Bret kicked off the top rope, it fell backwards, and he was on him. 1, 2, 3, something like that. I would like something like that to be the finish for this particular match. Or even with Gunther doesn't use the same maneuver every match, which I absolutely love. Throw a left instead of a right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always said that Bret Hart is the GOAT, because if on pay-per-view, you never know how Bret Hart was going to win his matches. But next, we have the women's inaugural Crown Jewel Championship between the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan and the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax. I got to tell you, I am loving both of these girls. I'm loving their work. Liv as a heel is just doing some incredible work. I really, really am happy for her on her stock just continuing to rise. And of course, Nia Jax, I mean, she looks like a champion. She walks like a champion. She talks like a champion. And she is so cocky, and she's so, you know what? I am so good. No woman on this roster, on this company could touch me. And that's the attitude you have to have, when you're in that spot. But the thing is that they're both heels, right? So it's almost like it's the lesser of the two devils, right? So it's like, then who is? They both do some horrible things, right? They do some horrible things. So it's hard to even say who's going to win this one. But the ace in the hole to me is Tiffany Stratton.
So I was going to say that I think that Tiffany interferes, Rhea could possibly interfere. I think it's going to be definitely some shenanigans in this match. It's not going to be a clean match. Somebody has to win because, like, they're giving a belt away. It's a whole thing. Like, I get it. But it's going to definitely be some shenanigans in this match.
I think it's going to be my Jersey girl, Liv Morgan, that's going to walk out.
I think Nia gets it.
Really? See, and we're crossing paths again. But I like it because, again, when it comes to as far as making the Judgment Day that much bigger, I think having an accolade under Liv's belt is going to add even more to that, of her just like another step in regards to her being not to say that she's not a big superstar, because she is a big superstar, but I'm just talking about really, because again, it could be interference. Tiffany can cost Nia the match. And maybe, just maybe Tiffany cashes in on Nia and walks out as the new WWE Women's Champion. So we shall see how this all pans out. All right. Next, we have a grudge match, and I mean a grudge match between Seth freaking Rollins and Bronson Reed. Now, for those that didn't watch Raw on Monday, Seth comes out and cuts his promo, on what's going to happen, at Crown Jewel now that this match has been made. And, they both agreed to stay away from each other. But, of course, who's outside? Bronson Reed, and say, hey, I'm out here. Seth goes outside, and they start tussling. And one thing that I noticed, because I'm a sneakerhead, that Bronson Reed was rocking a pair of brand new Air Jordan 3s. And I said, oh, my God. I said, he's going to scuff him. I said, he's going to crease him. He's going to scuff him. He's going to crease him. I said, please don't. Please, please, please. And they do the spot off the tractor trailer, the back of the truck. And he does that neck breaker move onto that padded area, by the truck. And Bronson Reed posted a picture of his sneakers on Twitter, and they were scuffed. I said, oh, it's on site now. It's on site. I'll be honest with you, now that Seth, I think, because the collision course with Punk is on the horizon. And I think to get his momentum, I think that he will win this match. I don't think that Bronson Reed is going to suffer from this loss by any stretch, because I think he's done enough to build some equity in his name, his character, his image, and everything else. That a loss like this, especially, I would imagine that this is going to be fisticuffs from beginning, from bell to bell. So I think Seth wins, and of course, again, the collision course with Punk is along the way. Your thoughts?
I agree 100%. I think Seth gets this one. I think it's a side quest for Seth, something for Seth to do until Punk is back, taking his time off, well deserved. But yeah, I think this is definitely Seth's going to get this one.
Yeah, and I mean it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. But I mean, I don't even. I mean, honestly, I want the match to start. No entrance. I mean, literally, his music starts, and I just want him to dart to the ring and start the match
Immediately on site.
Like the theatrics and all that. All the singing. Let that go and let the fight happen right away. Seriously. All right. Now, we got Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. And man, another angry man that's on the WWE roster is Kevin Owens. He's upset. He can't take it anymore. So he's just going to take it out on anybody that he can, including his old friends. You know, it was on site of Bad Blood with Cody. He beat him up outside of his bus. He did the same thing to Randy Orton. To me, I can't see this feud ending at Crown Jewel.
No,
I can't see it, and
it's not going to be a one matcher.
No. And I think this is where Kevin Owens wins.
I agree.
Kevin Owens wins the match because I truly believe that a match with him and Cody, because the match he had. It was more or less out of pity that Cody had for Kevin. Story wise, it was pity. But I think now that he beats Orton, he's going to have a reason to be on a collision course with Cody.
I think that he's going to be one to take it off of Cody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I believe Kevin's going to take it off Cody, and Cody's going to win it back. I don't know when Cody wins it back. I don't know when, but I do think whoever takes it off Cody has to do with he can handle the heat, because you're going to be a heat magnet times 10. But it's the way that Cody loses that they have to be really careful about, because if Kevin wins straight up, then why do I have to boo Kevin Owens?
Right.
There has to be a reason. Like everybody was complaining about, why did Jey Uso lose the title, so fast? I said, because they wanted to give you a reason to hate the bloodline even more. They cost that man the title. They cost him the title. So now it gives you that much fuel to the fire. It's wrestling psychology 101. The heels are not supposed to be cheered. They're not supposed to be beloved. They're not here for your happiness. I heard Paul Heyman say that at one time about how he used to introduce Brock Lesnar as Brock Lesnar. He's like, he's not here for your happiness. He's not here for your satisfaction. So I think I truly believe that Kevin, to your point, Kevin, this is going to be the stepping stone for Kevin to get into the world title picture again, and I think beat Cody, for the title. So we shall see what happens with that. But yeah, I think Kevin, wins this match and beats Orton. The United States Championship is on the line in a triple threat match where the megastar LA Knight defends against Andrade and against Carmelo Hayes. And I believe, again, this match is going to be, I think it's going to be a show stealer, I believe. And I believe this is going to be the way where Carmelo Hayes becomes the United States champion by pinning. Melo wins it by beating Andrade by doing some type of underhanded, grabbing the trunks, foot on the rope, so LA Knight's not involved in the pin. Your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's time for Melo to win. Andrade doesn't necessarily need it, and we all know that really LA Knight hasn't really done much with it, so I don't really see him where he needs it. But Carmelo, he's taking a lot of L's. I want to see him with it. And
I like LA Knight. Don't get me wrong. I just felt as like they waited too long to put some gold on his waist. I just think they should have struck gold while the stove was hot. And I'm not saying that he's cooled off, but I just felt as though that money in the like Money in the Bank 2023, I think it was, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was that one. I think he should have won. I think he should have won the Money in the Bank at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? But or put that United States title on him. Or as a matter of fact, even when we were at WrestleMania, when he did not win that battle royal, when he got tossed out, and we were all booing at that SmackDown, because I'm just like, he was just getting hot, hot, hot. And I think they should have struck gold at that point and put some type of title on him at that time. But I get it. There's so many factors when you're booking pro wrestling, and there's people here. There's so many moving pieces, on a pro wrestling roster, that you got to satiate as many people as you can. There's fans, and there's sponsors, and there's this, there's that. So, but I think also, this can give an incentive for LA Knight and Carmelo to have, some return matches and that type of thing too. So we'll see what happens, because now that Carmelo Hayes would be the heel champion, it will give an incentive for LA Knight to chase the title.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have a fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, where the champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, takes on Damage Control, Kairi Sane and Io Sky, Metaphor, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I love the fact that they've been incorporating Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson on the main roster, have them wait, in matches, and of course, they were popping up here, popping up there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to go on the limb. We're
going on the same limb then.
Wait. What does Ocho Cinco say? Stay with me now. Stay with me now. The Motor City Machine Guns only been there 3 weeks, and they are tag team champions. Mm-hmm. I truly believe on this day, I see clearly that we're going to have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and they go by the name of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Your thoughts?
Yep, I agree. 100%. 100%. I'm with you. Bianca and Jade are there to put them girls over. So are the other girls. We all know Chelsea Green has no problem putting talent over, so we're not worried about that. Kairi Sane and what's her face have already been there, done that. I think it's time for these new girls to do it. And I think this might be tomorrow. I think tomorrow, good Lord. I think Saturday might be the day.
Yeah, and I mean, as you could clearly see, when they're bringing, talent up, from NXT, and they're putting them in a feature spot like that, there has to be a reason why, because you're getting these fans familiar with them. Yep. You're getting the fans familiar with who they are, having them tune in to NXT on CW to see who are these new stars that's coming up. Because it's still crazy to me how there's a lot of people that don't watch NXT. It's mind-boggling to me.
I think part of it is that now that it's on, like, I hate to say cable television because it's not cable, it's free. It's CW, like, you get that channel, like, by turning on a TV. I think that's definitely going to help NXT stock. Because, like, if you think back to, like, our childhood, like, I watched TV when it was on. It was easier accessible, right? You watch it when it's available. Not everybody had cable. Everybody had access to these things. Yeah. And now this is another level of access for people.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I was lucky that I had cable and I was watching these other companies. Mm-hmm. I watched it, when you talk about the WWF, the NWA, WCW, World Class, and AWA. I had all of it. So when these wrestlers were moving from one company to another, I knew who they were. I was just talking to, oh my God, I was talking to my girlfriend, talking to the missus the other day about when The Undertaker debuted in the WWF. Mm-hmm. I said I knew who he was when he was me, Mark Callis in WCW. I had just seen him on TV losing to Lex Luger at a Clash of the Champions, and 2 months later, he shows up at Survivor Series as Ted DiBiase's mystery partner in Survivor Series. My sister, I was watching that pay-per-view with my mom, my grandmother and my sister. It was on Thanksgiving night. And my sister was like, who is that? I said, oh, that's me, Mark Callis from WCW. And I'm like, The Undertaker. I said, what the heck is that? And little did we know that was going to be the greatest gimmick in the history of pro wrestling. So it
Mm-hmm.
just really goes to show you, when you're paying, I had the opportunity to pay attention to a lot of wrestling over the years, and paying attention to these up and coming stars in NXT. It's incredible to see on what they've been doing, because to me, as much as I love the black and gold NXT, and I marvel at what Dusty and Triple H and William Regal all did
Mm-hmm.
down there in the early start when they were kicked off so many careers.
Mm-hmm.
This new crop from like 2021, when the 2.0 thing kicked off, we all kind of soured out of that first, but it's like, wow, look at the stars that's come out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Agreed. So we got, see, look at us. So the only two matches that we disagreed on so far was the Crown Jewel matches with the two champions. And I guess we can kind of cast that aside, because we've been basically, batting 1,000, which I hope the New York Yankees will do as we're taping this on a Wednesday. Hope they bat 1,000 tonight, that they did last night. But of course, the last match, and we're going to talk about this, was as they're saying, is the OG bloodline of the OTC Roman Reigns and the Usos, as they take on the bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and or Jacob Fatu. So I don't know who's going to be odd man out. I'm thinking it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
Tonga Loa probably,
Same.
based on what they've been doing. But expect the unexpected in this match. You never know what's going on. And based on that
Who's
little
gonna
Easter
show
egg,
up?
yeah, let's talk. You give me your opinion on, like, how do you think this match is going to go?
Oh, I don't see Roman losing. So I don't know who's gonna show up or try to show up to try to like distract Roman and them losing, but I don't or distract them in the ring. I don't see Roman taking an L. Or no, I lied. I don't see Kobe. I don't see him taking it out. Like, I just don't see it happening. So I'm sure this is going to be another match that has shenanigans. I'm sure there'll be some run-ins. Perhaps maybe someone new will show up. I don't know. Bloodline is very thick, very heavy. We'll see. But I just don't see Roman taking it out. Like, it's going to be a great match, hopefully. But I don't see Roman taking it out.
I disagree.
Okay.
And it's not Roman that's going to take the L.
I was going to say, who's taking the pin, though?
It's going to be Jimmy.
Mm.
I think Jimmy, because to me, you need an incentive to get Survivor Series up and running for this potential War Games match that we've been clamoring for once we got the date of Survivor Series. So I think Jacob might end up. I think Jacob's going to be in the match, and Jacob's going to be the one. Solo, I love you. He's going to get the pin on Jimmy Uso. Again, this is an opinion-based podcast here, but I truly believe that's how it's going to end, with some type of run-in, some type of shenanigans. And I tell you right now, see, I don't know if they're gonna do that with Sami Zayn over there in Saudi. That'll be a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they will go that route, but I think it's gonna be somebody, who knows who it is, that's gonna do the run-in, that's gonna cost Roman and the Usos the match against this new bloodline.
I see it. I see the vision. It's going to be some
You
shenanigans.
see the vision. You see the vision. Okay, we can agree, we can disagree, but you see the vision. You see the vision. You know what I mean? So I love it. I love it. But again, there's 7 matches on this card, and like I said, I hope that they continue on this trajectory as far as giving us more, because I just feel as though that there were a lot of wrestlers that should have been on these PLEs. That should have been on. Let me ask you a question. Off topic of Crown Jewel, who do you think is going to be the next standout single star in 2025?
Ooh, that's hard.
Because I got one in mind.
From all three or from a certain show?
All three.
Trick Williams.
Okay.
Trick Williams is going to come up after Mania, maybe, kind of like how Carmelo did. I think he's going to have his send-off match at Stand and Deliver, and I think that he's ready. It's just that they had to build the men's roster over there a little bit better. I think they've done a good job with it. They got some really good talent, and he wasn't ready for him to leave, which is why Melo was there next year. We all agree that Melo could have came up a while ago, but he had to hang back. I agree. So right. I think it's ready. I think they're ready for Trick.
I got to be honest with you. I hate to see it happen because it involves a tag team. But
okay, I know where you're going.
I feel that Montez Ford, aka King Tez, is going to be ready for a huge singles push in 2025. And I also believe that my man, his tag team partner, is going to also benefit from it as well. Because Angelo Dawkins can go in that ring. I believe
he's
Angelo
so
Dawkins.
Much better. Agreed.
Absolutely. And here's the thing also, the split doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be them turning on the other. It could be done in the draft. If you put Tez on Raw or put,
I don't think they're going to separate them, honestly. I think that you can have a solo run. Look at Kofi and look at Kofi when he was in New Day. Like, he had to run solo. He has a championship solo. So like, I don't think necessarily you have to split them up. I think they can still support each other and still be there, and he can still have his run. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a requirement for him to have a run. I think that them splitting them up is easy way out. That's low hanging fruit, right? It's the trick in the mastery is having him push without the other one looking weaker. That's where you get kind of crafty and creative at. But I think it's low hanging fruit to separate them. So I don't see him doing it.
And it's putting the right presentation on, because I think obviously Tez is a lot more of the flashy of the two, right? And Angelo's just like he's gritty and grimy. But I think there has to be two different stories being told because they're two different people. And but it's make sure that the presentation is done the right way. So either one is looking less than. That's why I think the problem has always been when WWE historically has split up tag teams. Like the old saying was, oh, who's going to be the Shawn, who's going to be the Jannetty? You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was completely unfair to Marty Jannetty. Now, granted, there were some things that Marty Jannetty did back then that sabotaged his career. But to me, I always felt that Marty Jannetty was the better worker than Shawn. Shawn was the better showman. Don't get me wrong. And this is no disrespect to Shawn Michaels, but I felt as far as the better in-ring like technician, I thought Marty was a far better worker than Shawn Michaels. Obviously, Shawn has all the accolades in the world, and he's doing some incredible work at NXT. But for people to say, who's the Shawn and who's the Jannetty, I just think that's just a bad comparison. I just don't think it's fair. But also, too, I think if done right, that both men, whoever it is, can both flourish in a singles role.
Agreed.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, as always, give out your social media handles and where they can hear your other podcasts.
All right. You guys can find me at Charm City Gabi with 2 I's at the end. And you can listen to my podcast every Monday, Lip Gloss and Ladders.
All right. Well, like I said, as always, thank you very much for all that you do, for the D-Lew podcast. And again, we're going places, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see, what we're going to be doing in 2025 and beyond, with this show. And again, thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely.
You got it.